Hey there, in today's video, I am walking you through all the steps that I took to participate in an art walk. And our city of Seattle has lots of different neighborhoods, and within those, a lot of businesses kind of collaborate and put together a time where businesses can host artists and for a month or a quarter, and then they have an opening night, and that is when maybe I was in, like, for example, when I was in this art walk recently, and I was the coffee shop that I was in, and they don't normally sell beer and wine, but for the night of the art walk, they have wine, and they might have a special dessert or appetizers or things like that that are available for purchase. And so it's a super fun time and to have your art be seen and be shown in a time when maybe, for example, it's all like me stacking up in your, studio. So I wanted to just show you all the many details that it took to kind of get to the final phase of the actual art walk and what things that I do to prepare for that. Now, for example, I'm no professional. I have just kind of figured out what works for me. So obviously there's lots of different ways to do this. And all of my art is for sale. I also included some cards and the small matted artwork that I have shown in a prior video, how to create those. But certainly there's lots of different ways to do it. But I want to show you my process in order that it might spur you on if you are involved in anything like this. Like, oh gosh, here's a little detail I hadn't thought of, or here's something that who knew what that might look like. So I'm just kind of walking you through the time and all the different steps that I took to finally show my art. I will say I ran into a few things. I had hoped to turn my video on or my camera on when I was hanging the art at the coffee shop, but it just didn't work out really good. The other artist was taking her art down, and then she was there, and it just didn't really work for me to turn my camera on. It felt a little awkward. And so I just was like, okay, I'll just get some photos or some video of hopefully of the night of. So I just wanted to capture all of it so that you could see, what went into it. And it's just I feel a real honor to be included in having this coffee shop. I've known the manager of the coffee shop for a long time, and it was very gracious of her to, host my art. And even if it doesn't sell, which most of it won't, in fact, probably very little of it will sell, it's still really cool to see your art on a large scale hanging all together on a long, massive wall or a couple of different walls. So I would encourage you, if you ever have an opportunity like this, as scary as it is and as anxiety provoking as it might be, to take advantage of that opportunity. Or if you have a relationship with someone, a business who might show, even if you don't have art walks like these, I don't call it formal, but if real formal, it is kind of, elaborate art walk system in your city, that you might even just reach out to a business owner that and hang a few pieces of your art. Because there's just something about sharing your art. Even if it doesn't sell, there is something really cool about being able to share it and to engage about it and to talk about it and to see it and see it through the eyes of others. So here we go. I'm going to show you how I prep and set up and get ready and what that whole process involves. All right. I am 2 weeks away from the art walk, 1 week away from needing to hang my art in the coffee shop where the art walk, will happen. And I have a lot to do. So the first thing is I am downstairs in my living room, kind of dining room area. I'm going to bring all my art down because I need to get it out of my messy art studio space, because it's chaos up there as I've been trying to finish everything to get ready for the art walk. So I'm going to bring my pieces down. I'm going to look at each of them, see what they need, make some notes and sort through and figure out exactly what I'm taking so that when I get there, I'm not like trying to make decisions at the time. I do like to hang things in collections in terms of like similar look and vibe and colors, just so that they kind of look good up on the wall. And I have been at this coffee shop before, so I do have an idea of kind of about a year and a half ago. So I do kind of have an idea of what it's like and what the layout and all of that is. So I just thought I'll bring all the art down, and then I'll kind of show you my process for getting ready. of the artwork that I'm thinking of, there's a lot of light going on right now. I also have, so I have the big canvases, I have cards, and I have matted artwork. And then I have a container because the coffee shop has a little place where I can put the cards into on a counter, and then people can buy them. They don't like the artwork if they were to buy it. And I'll be honest, I don't usually sell very much of it, but that needs to be left up until the end of the art walk. But here I'm showing you here. And then these are all these little ones I'm doing. But if you want a card or these smaller ones, then I make like this has the information to pay. You just pay by Venmo. So I have to get all those. I have to choose how many I'm going to have in each, of each, and then decide which ones I like the best or which ones I think will sell the best. And yeah, so this is the next step. And now I need to decide what, some of them still need to be named. Some of the portraits still, or the paintings still need to be wired in the back. So there's work to be done, but I got everything down, and then I will assess what my situation is in just a minute. I thought I'd start by showing you kind of what my plans are for these matted original art, little mini art pieces. And I do have a video on how I make these. So I have quite a few here. I need to see how many will fit into this container. Let me move these out of the way because I'm going to do half of the matted and then half of just the greeting card. So each side will have its own, and then they each need to have their Venmo, what the cost is. So I've kind of gone back and forth. I charge only $12 for I feel like, which I say only, but for the handmade cards, because they are little mini pieces of art, right? So, but I also recognize that people are not going to spend any more than $12 on a card. So even that is probably a push for a lot of people. So these little matted art pieces, I've kind of gone back and forth. First I was thinking 20, then, my husband said maybe do 18. And I think he's probably right. So I think I should start at 18. So I'm going to price these at 18. I just kind of made that decision. And then I can just see how they go. If they sell, that's great. But my point is I'm probably not going to sell very many of them regardless of what I price them at. The cards as well. But they are kind of, if someone wants a little something, and the nice thing about these, they can slip right into a frame, or you can have them like this. Whereas the cards, you could frame them. And I actually have people that have framed them, but they don't come with a mat, and they are adhered to a greeting card, and they have an envelope. So, it's a push there. So I need to write myself a note, because what needs to happen next is I have not sealed the top of these, because I'm going to tuck in the back a little card like the one that this card has. Wow, that's crooked. But, and then it just puts what it is, what the price is, and how to Venmo me. So those cards, the cards are going to go on one side, and the matted artwork will go on the other side, depending on how many I put in each of these. But I need to write myself a note, because I need to remember that I need to make the Venmo cards, because I can't have closure to this until I do that. But let's just put these in, and I'm going to kind of count as I'm doing it, but I'll put and you can kind of see what I have. I'm going to put the Okay, I think 35 fits perfect, and I think that will be the same. All these 35, I just had grabbed a stack. I may swap a few of these out, but I do like all of these. I grabbed about the same handful of the cards, the green cards, which I'll pull over now. And some of them are sealed, and so I will have to open those up. Some of them are sealed and actually have the Venmo card in it, maybe from the last art walk that I was in, which was quite a while ago. A lot of times what I'll do is and I did do a few like little kind of Christmassy tree. They're not totally Christmassy, but I thought, oh, that'd be kind of fun, because it's going to be November by the time this comes around. So I guess I'll show you while I'm doing these, even though It's a little, let's move this over. It's a little awkward, but so I have all different kinds. I don't, these are florals, but and they tend to be a little more abstract. I'm not big on as much on representational, art. I like more the abstract. But if I'm going to do a cake, like for a birthday cake, I typically will abstract the elements that are on there. So, okay. So that, these are just cards that I made from scrap, kind of scrap materials. And like this one, it looks like I etched into it and just painted. I just think you should take your little scraps and turn them into all kinds of stuff. Or like this was an abstract background and I just put a birthday cake on it, thinking how fun would that be? These are just kind of abstract birthday cakes. So anyway, and this one was this modeling paste that I glazed over and had just written the words "thank you." So it's just a unique way to make a card that's a little bit different, a little bit more special. So okay, and there's a second one with a thank you on it. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not getting you in the camera. And this one was just using different burlap pieces, which I always think is fun. And I have a number of birthday cards because I feel like that is a reason people do buy a card these days still. So, okay, I think 35 of each. I think that's a great number. And honestly, the great thing is the coffee shop will have these for a month. And last time I actually did sell quite a few of the cards and I went back and restocked it because I think people like having choices and looking through. I'll be curious if any of the matted artwork sells. And, you just don't know. So I'm not going into it like, oh, I'm going to make $1 million. I'm kind of going into it like, I love sharing my art, just like on these videos. And this is a great opportunity and way for me to do it. So, okay, I've got this situated. I have my notes. I just need to make the little Venmo cards. So I'm going to go on to the next part that I need to figure out. The next thing I'm looking through are the 4x4 canvases. And I have done a video on this and I will put it below. So I'm not going to show you all of them. I have this, I think you saw me carry down the box, but it's a massive box and I probably have, I don't know, 60, 70 of these. So my idea is to use this putty, fingers crossed. I did do a sample of one on my own wall and I just put a tiny piece on each corner and it held for a week. So I think it'll be fine. Sorry, I got interrupted by the UPS man. So basically, I think where I was at was just saying, I'm hoping to put these all up. I'm hoping to put like 50 of them up. I know that might seem over the top. And then make a sign that just says, so let's say they want to buy these 3. They would just pull them off the wall, rub the mounting putty off, and they could take them with them at that point. So that's my idea. And I'm charging $20 each for these. So, I'm just being really transparent about my pricing. It seems like that's reasonable. But again, I don't really know. I've never tried selling these little mini 4x4s, but I do. And then maybe even, just have a little idea. Wouldn't it be cute if I had like little bags? So like, let's say they want to take 2 or 3 of these or buy 2 or 3 of these, then you have a little bag to take them in versus you're at a coffee shop. And now what am I supposed to do with this stuff? So I might write myself a note too. I think I might have some mini bags. And I don't, this may be overly optimistic, but the little counter, it's a little side counter kind of thing, narrow, not huge. And it's not where any of the baristas keep any of their stuff, or it kind of had a little decorative plant on it, I think, when I was there last time. So I think this might work and I can maybe figure that out. And I guess I need to check and make sure that this will work. Hopefully that will, because these would be these little minis, and then the matted art would be brand new for me. It's something new that I've never tried before. And like I said, I don't go to fairs or festivals. I have done that and it's really not for me. And so unfortunately, I'm not super experienced at selling art, or basically I don't sell a lot of my art because even when I put it out there, or have put it out there, art is so personal that you have to really, it has to be your vibe. And I totally understand that my art isn't necessarily everybody's vibe. But I was thinking these little minis, I could see, oh, I want this little collection right here of 4 for something. I could see this maybe being a way, something that people might like. Who really knows? But I think, nothing tried, nothing gained. So, and I do have some of these hanging around my own house. So I do know how cute they can be hanging up on a wall, but they do have to, you do have to find some that fit your own, aesthetic and your own style. So I will create a sign. I will consider little mini bags, and I have my putty for these. So these are ready to go. They're in a big box over here. And so I'm going to put these away and move on to the next thing. I'm going to move on to my paintings now. So I have this collection, these 5 portraits there. I know none of them have been named and none of them have wires. So I need to jot myself a note for those. Then I have this little mini set of abstracts, and I just need to check the back of them and see which ones. A few of them have been wired, a few of them have been named. So then I have this other set of 3 portraits. They have been wired and they have been named because I've actually had, let's see, this one exhibited and that one exhibited. So went back when I was entering into different things. And then I have this set of 4. I don't know if you can see it. I'm sorry, the sun, which is so awesome, is coming through the window there. But I have this set of 4. Maybe if I move over here, I don't know. Anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. So those I will need to write myself a note to have wired, and 2 little ones on the bottom have been named, and 3 of these smaller ones have been named but are not wired. So that's the next step. But I will say I can tell right out of the gate just the space. I need one more. This is a really big one. It's like 4 feet by 3 feet maybe. And I need another one that size. I don't want to take any of the artwork that I had the last time I was there, like a year and a half ago. So, and I think I do want to take an abstract. So I need to go and look for that. And then I think I'm pretty close. So I found another, just looked through my finished canvases, and I found another large abstract, this one here, on the right. And I think it will hang nicely with the one on the left. I mean, they're not the same. They're not really the same color palette, but I think they'll be okay. It's not like one is completely, bright and the other's neutral or something like that. I think those will look good. This one, the one on the right, will probably go kind of really down on the corner. Most people honestly won't really see it. The 2 large ones, last time, you have to really go out of your way to see those because they're down a hallway. But I like using all the space if I can. So I think I'm in good shape. I have to think it through. And maybe what I need to do is look at pictures from the last one if I have any on hand, and then I can decide if this is enough. But that is it for today. I'm just going to finish making my notes, and then literally next week will be the day I hang it. But I do need to print out cards, and I have a lot to do still. And I got to get my husband on wiring because he does all that for me. I'm very lucky. I have my little Venmo cards that I'm going to insert into the back of the envelope for the mixed media art and the art greeting cards. And I'm just going to show you how I do a few of those. I'll put it in fast forward, but just so that you can kind of see the process that I go in. Hey there, today is the day I am getting ready to hang my art. I have everything super organized because not only do I have to go to the coffee shop and hang it, my husband and I then have a fundraiser afterward. So we actually have to change clothes and hang everything kind of in nicer clothes than we would normally do. But we're going to load up here in a few minutes. We're going to get to the coffee shop early and wait for the other artists to take down their art. And then I will put up my art. But I thought I'd show you some of the things that I have organized and that I'm ready to go. And I'm super excited. So the art walk is next Thursday. So today we have a week away, and it'll be nice to have all of this kind of behind me, because there's a lot of prep work that goes into something simple as just hanging your art somewhere. Obviously, you do not have to go into such great detail. Some of the things that I do, I do like all those little details. So I kind of get caught up in, little placards and little signs and little things like that. So probably a little overboard. But anyway, I am super excited. So I'm going to show you a few things, and then we're going to load up and hang everything up. So here is the little bin that has all the matted artwork that I showed you before, and also the cards. It has the little information on the back if you want to purchase it, and those will sit on a small counter. I also am including this time, which is something I haven't done before, is I made a little placard. If you want to use a bag, I happen to have a lot of these. I did a craft fair years ago, and I bought, so many. So I have these extra, and I thought that might be kind of fun if you were to buy a cards or one of the mini art, which is also including this whole big box of the 4x4s. I think I have 60 or 70 total. And then I made a little placard for that as well that will hang up on the wall next to them. On the back of each, I also decided to go ahead and sign and then put a little bit of information. I didn't name each of these. Seems like that would be a little bit over the top, and there's just not a lot of room on there to write all the information that I would normally write. Okay, I'm going to take you around. I have two really large ones. They are 34 inches wide by 44 inches tall. And I also decided, normally I have just this big stack of these placards that I put up on the wall next to them. I decided, for the sake of efficiency today, to actually tape it in a little cellophane bag. So that would make, when we get there, it'll make it way faster, because I don't always remember what I have named all my art. The rest of the pieces are right here. They're all signed and ready to go. And then I have a small bin right here that they can fit into a box. I am a little bit worried because most of my pieces are pretty large this time. I'm worried I should have maybe included some smaller things besides the little 4x4s. But we'll see how it goes. I'm super excited to get there and get all of it hung up.